I am so glad to be here tonight, drinking beer. It's been a really hard week. Anybody else having a rough time this week? Adulting sucks, right? Yeah. I was thinking about, returning back to those more innocent days before reality, like, ground itself into the ground with you. I came up with this memory of this story back before that curtain was pulled aside for someone, showing the man turning the cranks and pulling the levers and operating everything. Back, if you think of like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and that innocence, that's kind of what this story is about, and that getting ruined for somebody prematurely. So I played a fun game earlier this week with a number of people, and I'm going to do the same thing now because it relates directly to the story. People have watched Family Feud, right? Okay. So we're thinking about anamorphic critters, right? Like Mickey Mouse and that sort of thing. What kind of critter would you not want watching you eat your food? Anybody? A squirrel. We don't want squirrels watching us eat our food? The Lorax? Cockroach, spiders. What about a rat? Right, ew. So this is the first unmasking of the story. Anybody been to Chuck E. Cheese Pizza? Yeah. That's not a mouse, folks. That is a rat, and I know because I worked there and I was a trainer for Chuck E. Cheese when I was in high school. I was a member of the Rat Pack. I could train people to do the register. I could train people to make pizza. I could train them to prep the salad bar. I could train them to be in the costume. I wasn't allowed to wear the costume myself. And that wasn't discrimination. That had to do with the fact that if you're wearing the costume, you're actually looking out through the mouth. And the eyes are up here. And the ears are up here. So if I put that costume on, I was an 8-foot rat. And that's the stuff that nightmares are made of. So I trained a number of people to be this happy-go-lucky rat singing happy birthday to everybody. And this story comes into effect. I was in the back room. I was actually training somebody to make a pizza at the time. And they had just finished singing the happy birthday song. And Chucky was coming back in to change because Chuck E. Cheese doesn't spend the entire day as Chuck E. Cheese. They're serving pizza, doing other things. It's usually played by a shortish woman. And I'm training somebody to make the pizza. And I watch Chucky come back and go into the little tiny closet where Chucky's changing. And just as Chucky walks into that closet, I see this tiny little, 3-year-old girl following Chuck E. Cheese. So I start dashing across the kitchen as fast as I can, shoving birthday cakes out of the way. But I didn't get there in time, and the door closed. And it was then that I heard the scream. And if you've had a daughter, you know the scream. It's a scream that only girls seem to genetically be able to make. The one that sounds like 8 demons running their fingernails slowly across a chalkboard. And I hear it just before I open the door, and I see this little girl curled up in a little ball in the corner, crying. And I see an 18-year-old girl up against the wall, terrified as well, also crying. I don't know how many free pizzas and tokens their family got, but that girl's probably in her early 30s now, and I hope she's still getting free pizza.